been new developments in the Nintendo patent lawsuit against Palworld. And let's just say, as KP just mentioned, things are getting a little weird. So, this legal drama has been going on since September 2024, when the Pokemon Company and Nintendo accused Pocketpair's Palworld for infringement on several of their jointly held patents. In response, Pocketpair presented a dual defense strategy, arguing that the patents at the center of the case are invalid, claiming Palworld isn't infringing on them to begin with. Sorry, this thing just has me laughing. So, what is that new development, right? Well, Nintendo recently requested an amendment of one of its patents in the lawsuit from the Japan Patent Office. This patent is JP7528390 if you want to look it up, and describes a system for seamlessly switching between rideable objects or mounts. Not readable, rideable. There's a difference. My bad. I obviously cannot readable that rideable. So, anyway, this patent describes a system for seamlessly switching between rideable objects or mounts. So this request was granted, and an examiner deemed that this revised version did not introduce any new technical matter to the lawsuit. So what was introduced was a reworked claim that is written, honestly, oddly, with a large sequence of run-on sentences. So this claim describes conditions for triggering the ride switching implementation and includes a provision that if works in the air, even when a non-flying mount is selected. This phrase seems highly unusual due to its even when and even if wording, which is things you don't typically see in patents. Now, amending a patent in lawsuit mid-case is a pretty uncommon move, potentially indicating, honestly, that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company feared its intellectual property could be invalidated based on how the proceedings were unfolding. This development also just suggests that Nintendo may still lack a solid basis to bring a lawsuit in the US. Pocketpair has since removed the alleged infringing features from Palworld, but has also argued that those elements were never infringing to begin with, and that these patents themselves are invalid. Now, as this lawsuit continues, somehow, we will be sure to update you with any major news regarding it. But we want to know, do you think Palworld has infringed upon the Pokemon Company and Nintendo? Let us know in the comments. In my personal opinion, I am Team Palworld. I know you are as well, Katie. And honestly, Nintendo is scrambling because I genuinely think they're about to suffer their first loss. I don't think they're going to win this case, and I think they know it at this point.
They are it's kind of like watching, like when you play with a child, right? When you play a game with a kid and the kid's like, you try to make sure that the kid wins, right?
Yeah.
So you let the kid cheat as much as possible around, like, just so they can win. And that's what it feels like. It feels like the kid's like trying to cheat because the game's called I Win. And it's just very awkward because the adult's like, why do you win? And the kid's like, because the new rule is apples are now bananas.
Nintendo just needs to stop. Like, the thing is there are rideable mounts in games like Ark Survival, for example. Like, and that was even a thing they said, so what are you gonna do? Go Palworld literally said, or Pocketpair said, like, so you're gonna sue, are you gonna go sue Ark? Because, like, they have rideable mounts.
Yeah, like
what do you mean? Like, the only reason Nintendo is suing them is because of the spheres, and now they're looking for any other reasons to be able to make this lawsuit happen, and
they changed
to get headway so they can win their $66,000.
But we also know, like, I think they change the spheres already. They've already changed how
they've changed everything that they've considered infringement.
Right. So they changed the spheres. They changed how the flying in the game is, because you can't ride your flying mount because God forbid you ride a bird, right? So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Palworld brought a game that was similar, that had sensations and things that made people think of Pokemon. And
Right.
from there, right, they give us a game that we've been begging Nintendo and the Pokemon Company to give us. And there's sadly an indie developer that made it big and had their big hit. And honestly, if Palworld had never blown up to the size that it did, I don't think we'd have ever seen this lawsuit.
I think what's happening right now, and I haven't looked up their financial records because they can show like your fiscal year for the year for Nintendo if you really want to look them up. Every company has to display them. It's public knowledge. So if you ever want to look it up, people, you can. But I haven't looked up their fiscal reporting to see how they're doing.
Well,
But I have a
according
funny
to
feeling they're not doing so
According to a
well.
quick Google job, Nintendo's recent financial performance has seen a dip in revenue and profits, primarily due to the
I
aging
said.
Nintendo Switch console and a strong previous year driven by the release of Super Mario Bros. Movie and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Net sales is down 30.3% from the previous year, profit down 43.2% from the previous year. So they've seen actually a
down.
substantial loss.
We're gonna have to see because, like I said, they just started their second quarter. So they released the Switch 2 in the first quarter. We'll see how the Switch 2 does overall when we get to the end, and we'll see if they come back up. But right now, I think the biggest issue is, like I said, they're not doing well. So they're looking for any way that they can make money because they need to survive. It's called just do better.